I'm Barry Cigich. I'm the Vice President of Engineering and Operations for Inergy. I'm out of Kansas City. However, I just moved there a year ago. I was living in Owego, New York, so I'm familiar with this area. What I wanted to do at this meeting is see if we could gather some support for the meeting that's coming up, the 27th of September, which is next Tuesday. It's the official DEC meeting where the DEC comes in and they have an administrative law judge that goes over it and they take comments, just comments from everybody. They don't get into a discussion, but we would like, you know, if you're all supportive of this and want to make a comment that goes on record for the DEC. We've brought several people with us. We've got Mr. Roland Penta here. Mr. Penta is the immediate past chairman of the National Propane Gas Association, the past president of the New York Propane Gas Association, president of Phelps Sun Gas, Inc., and which has served the Finger Lakes area for over 70 years. So we've got a lot of experience here in the propane. I'm with Inergy, and Inergy started as a propane company, but I haven't really been on the propane side. I've been on the midstream side. So I'm not real familiar with the retail sales of propane, just the storage. We also have Mr. John Istvan here, also known as John Methuselah Istvan. You wouldn't know by looking at him, but he actually served as a project manager on the first natural gas storage facility in bedded salt in the United States. He also helped develop the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So he's touched just about every salt project that we've had in the nation here. We're really proud to have John as our geologist, and he's here. He'll give a presentation. We also have Mr. Barry Moon. Mr. Moon grew up in Savona, and when did you start working in Bath Petroleum? 88? He started in 88. Now he runs everything. Barry he's our manager of all of our LPG storage here. We also have Matt McCormick. Matt is our compliance. He's our lab director and our compliance manager. So he takes care of all safety compliance, all the OSHA and all that other stuff for the LPG stuff. Just to give you an idea of Inergy on the midstream side, Inergy got into the midstream operation in 2005. We bought the Stagecoach storage facility in Owego, New York, and it is a natural gas storage facility. It's stored in a depleted gas reservoir about 5,000 feet deep. We then bought the Bath LPG facility, and it's a solution mine salt storage facility that was probably first started in the 50s. We then purchased Istvan gas storage, and it's a reef storage. The reef held gas, and they depleted the gas out of this reef structure, a Devonian reef, and it's about 4,000 feet deep. And it started in service in '91. We then bought and developed Thomas Corner Storage, which is a sister reef to Istvan, and it went into service in '09. Then we just recently, then we bought the U.S. Salt facility, and the U.S. Salt had solution mine caverns that had already been there for years. We'd actually talked to U.S. Salt in an attempt to try to use their storage, their solution mine caverns. We just finished the purchase of Seneca Lake Storage from NYSEG, which is a natural gas storage facility. Where I'm going on this is I want to give you guys some facts of, and you know, a lot of you have been in the area probably for a long time and may realize this, may not have realized this. But LPG has been stored in the Watkins Glen area for over 50 years. And it's been stored in as much as 3 million barrels. In '64, they started storing in some caverns there at U.S. Salt. And then TEPCO built some caverns, and they went across the street, and they store, what, about 600,000 barrels?
1,100 barrels. 1,100 barrels.
No. TEPCO.
1.2 million.
1.2 million?
1.2.
That's what TEPCO holds? And then we're looking at developing another 2 million barrels. So it's about the same as what they had years ago. So for almost 50 years, we've had LPG storage here at Watkins Glen. The brine has been here since the 1890s. I mean, U.S. Salt, ASCO, is that right, John?
Yeah.
The original salt manufacturer started in the 1890s. And there's been
International salt.
International salt, okay. International salt in the 1890s. So there's been brine running through pipelines on the side of Seneca Lake for over 100 years. So LPG storage and brine have been here for over 50 years, and they've cohabited, so to speak, with tourism, and there hasn't really been any issue. You know, there's been a lot of stories that have gone around about what could happen, but we know what could happen because it's going on right now. We have LPG storage here now. We've had it for the last 50 years. We've had brine for over 100 years. U.S. Salt has a brine pond that's been there. How long old is that brine pond?
1969.
It's been there since 1969. They haven't had any issues right there on the steep slopes of Seneca Lake. We've got brine ponds down at Bath. In fact, the original brine pond at Bath is so old it was clay lined. You quit using it when, Barry? Early 70s, they quit using it. You know, we got 1.5 million barrels of brine right on the Cohocton River there at Bath, and haven't had any problems. So, you know, I can't see what a lot of the issues that have been raised are. LPG and brine has been in this area for 50 years minimum, and a lot of people probably didn't even realize it.
Barry, I just found out from Jim Luce last week that the maximum storage they've ever had here was actually 4 million barrels. It turns out there's 3.2 million in cavity 1 and 0.8 million in cavity 2.
Okay.
He just explained that to me last week.
Okay. So, you know, in the history, the history of Watkins Glen has actually stored more LPG than what we're proposing with TEPCO here right now. What I'd like to do is let Mr. Penta give a little presentation to each one of these guys, and when they're finished with their presentation, we can go ahead and do some Q&As. So, Roland,